There is another type of selector, or there's a few other types of selectors that we're going to talk about. And here's the next one. This is called the class selector, and it starts with a dot. So put a dot down here underneath the last rule set that we wrote, and let's type in warning. Now I just made that up, and I'll explain that in a second here. And then I'll put my curly braces. So what I've got here is a class selector. Class selectors start with a period, and let's go ahead and set the color property to red inside that rule set there. Okay, now what this means, a class selector targets elements that have a certain class attribute setting. In this case, I've set it to warning. So let's add an element to the body down here that will match that selector. So I'll just go ahead and use a div tag or div element, and I'm going to give it a class attribute value of warning. So I'm setting its class attribute to warning. Now that will match the selector. So I'll just type in warning here, beware. Okay, so class selectors that start with a dot will target all elements on a page that have a class attribute that matches the selector. So here we have the class attribute that's set to warning, and here we have a class selector that's targeting all elements that have their class attribute set to warning. So if I save this, Alt tab back to the browser here and hit refresh, now there you can see there's our warning in red here. Now in this case, in my HTML, it's just a div tag that has a class of warning, but I could add a B tag and give it a class of warning, or any type of tag. As long as it has a class attribute set to warning, then it'll get this color red applied to it. So that's what we call a class selector.